want to make sure your competitors aren't bidding on your brands. And that's what I tell everyone, right? Just pay that Google tax of $5 a day and just see how much volume is going to come in, right? If you have a bunch of volume and you're like, holy shit, I'm getting like $2, $3 conversions, right? Then you're like, okay, well, maybe I can spend a little bit more on Google, right? Going on his phone.
What's up, yo? Dude, what the
It's,
heck?
it's messing up for me too. Every time I turn my cam on, it boots me.
I know, that's
What about
ridiculous.
competitor brand? Does that make sense too? Just
If you have a good portion of spend and a good portion of budget and you're curious on Google, I say bid on your competitors' keywords for sure. Because what they may not be doing is they may be spending all of their money on Meta and no money on Google, and you're just getting free clicks, right? Because people are interested in their brand, they're typing in their brand on Google, and you're like, whoa, their brand's not coming up, right? So what I would do is first I'd do a quick test, right? Look up your brand on Google, right? Just look up your brand on Google. What comes up, right? It could be competitor, it could be someone else, it could be an adjacent industry or something that makes no sense, right? If it's not your brand, then you have an issue, right? Your brand should be the number one click that comes up, right? If you look up your competitor's brand and they're not searching, right? So sometimes I'll look up like if a brand comes to XScale and they're like, we want to work with Google and we want to understand if we want to spend more money on Google. First two things I'll do is I'll look up their competitors, right? I'll ask them, who are your competitors? I'll look them up on Google. If those competitors aren't the first 2-3 clicks that are coming up, I know their competitors aren't spending on Google, right? And then I'll do another thing. I'll look up their brand on Google. If their brand's not coming up, I'm like, okay, well, that's the easiest win, right? Easiest win on Google is just bid on yourself, right? Because you're already doing a great job on Meta, bringing in traffic from Google, right? Or to Google. And then if your competitors are doing the same, that's just another easy click, right? And that could just be one campaign. That could be one simple campaign. Name it branded campaign, and you have 2 ad sets. You have your branded keywords, which is just you bidding on your own company, and you have your competitor keywords, which is you just bidding on your competitors, what your competitor keywords would be, right? And that can bring in, I've seen that bring in a good chunk of money for supplement brands because it's so competitive, right? And people don't really know how to have like an actual Google strategy in the supplement space. So the easiest thing to do is just bid on yourself and your competitors or someone that's adjacent to you and like adjacent to your best selling SKU, right? So say you sell like omega-3s, right? Omega-3 acids, something like that. So you want to bid on all of those omegas, right? And that may be a little bit higher. You may have to, that may be like a $30 to $40 cost conversion at the start. But once you get that first customer, especially if a lot of you guys are on subscription, right? Once you get that first customer in the door, that LTV is going to shoot up, right? So I would look at 2 of those key metrics to be that LTV on Google and then what you're paying for that cost per click, right? Look at that, and then if you can sort of see you're making money and it's efficient, and you're profitable on Google, scale more, right? Scale a little bit more incrementally, right? And the biggest thing I tell people, if you're seeing wins on Google, don't scale as quickly as you would on Meta. Scale a little bit slower. Google just takes a little bit more time. It's a little more fragile when it comes to increased spend or increased volume of changes, right? And then once you make that branded campaign, leave it alone. Don't touch it. Look at what it's bringing in, but don't make massive changes. Like don't add ad sets into it, right? Leave it alone and let it work. Let it cook, right? And the more effort you put on your Meta side, the more return you're going to get on that Google side for that branded campaign, right? And then if you see really good stuff coming in branded, you can start a PMAX campaign. And that's just a branded PMAX that's bringing in your best assets, and that's just static images from Meta that you're using on Meta, putting them in Google, and letting Google sort of decide where the intent is from the customer, and they'll show your ad. They'll decide when your ad gets shown, right? So PMAX may not be as efficient as a branded because your branded ad's always showing up as long as you have budget. It's always going to show up when a user types in your company. But if say a user types in, what's your top selling product, Sutton?
My top selling product? Is that what you said? Top selling product?
Yeah. Top selling SKU.
It's our replenished electrolyte powder.
Okay, so say someone types in something adjacent to that powder, right? Google may throw that PMAX up for them, but they may not have been 100% sure on going to Sutton's product, right? But Google's like, Sutton's product's the best product for you, so we're going to show that ad, right? That's the benefit of a PMAX, where you may not actually know your customers out in the field somewhere, but Google has eyes on them. It's like a UAV, basically, from Call of Duty.
Yeah. Okay. So essentially, just bid on the keywords adjacent to your brand and your top selling products, and it'll just basically be a catch all for everything as far as like the warm traffic that you're generating from Meta.
Correct. To keep it just, I wouldn't even bid on your product yet. I would just bid on your company name, right? On your company name, because that's what people are going to type in from Meta, right? Think of it as you're a customer. You're seeing your ads on Instagram, or you're seeing your ads on Facebook. What is bringing them to Google, right? What are they typing in when they're curious of your brand on Google, right? That should be your keyword. That should be your search thing, right? Because that's going to be the exact thing they type in, and you need exact keywords, right? Because it's going to ask you if it's going to be exact keywords or broad keywords. Make sure you put exact, and if you're not 100% sure, you can put broad, right? If you're not sure where they're going to type in, throw in a broad keyword. But if you're 100% sure, right? If it's your company name, your brand name, or your top selling SKU, that's an exact keyword match. So type that in exactly and make sure that's exact on that front.
So for me, since I had my company's Ascend Performance Nutrition, would I bet on Ascend, Ascend Performance, Ascend Performance Nutrition, Ascend Nutrition? Would I bet on those four?
Yeah, I would do Ascend Nutrition, Ascend Performance, and then I wouldn't bid on Ascend because that's probably not going to be a warm intent. Someone could just type that in. They could want the definition of the word or something like that. We don't want to come up there. But so like Ascend Performance, Ascend Nutrition, and then like maybe Ascend Powder, like whatever someone would type in to find your product or brand is what you want, right? If they're typing in something that could be adjacent, like Ascend, that's probably not a warm intent conversion because they're not typing in that nutrition or that performance word after.
Right.
They're just typing in Ascend. Okay. So it could be something very different. And you don't want to bid on that, right? You want your branded just to be warm intent from Meta that you're making. It's basically making sure you get all the conversions that you're putting on Meta, right? It's just making sure you're collecting it all at the end of the day.
And for like when they click on it, are you wanting to send them to a specific page or just your home page, or like are you trying to send them to an indoctrination page to where they kind of you can objection handle, or are you just sending them straight to the home page?
I think that's a great question. I think I would recommend testing it. So whatever you're sending them to on Meta, and that's the best landing page, I would start with that landing page, right? Whatever you're seeing on Meta as an offer, start with that landing page and throw it into Google. But you could also do your home page or your subscription page. We've had good results with actual subscription pages on Google, where subscription pages may not work on Meta. Because at the Google stage of buying, people just want information. They just want to know exactly what's in your product. They're done with the story. You sort of push them to engage with you on Google, right? So they've seen your meta ad, right? Which is mostly the story based or lifestyle based, right? Lifestyle content, right? So once they get to Google, they just want to see exact information, metrics, what's in the powder, things of that nature. And then they want an easy way to get to that buying the end goal, which is buying the actual product.
Okay.
Would that mean you send them right to the product page though, or?
I would say test it. I would say, so if your subscription page is not your product page, then try your product page, right?
Okay.
I think people, and it's how you phrase the headlines in the description, right? So Google's going to ask you to put in headlines when you make your campaign. If your headline, for an example, if his headline is buy our top selling SKU, then you want to send them to the PDP, right? You want to send them to the product page, right? If it's anything like product branded, of course, send them to the product page. But if it's just him branding his own company, where it's like, hey, engage with the #1 performance nutrition company in the United States, right? Then maybe send them to your homepage, right? Or send them to a subscription page, something more broad that's just based on your brand and not just the product, right? So you just want to make sure the intent of the click is correct. Just match the intent with the click. If you're seeing the intent is they just want to buy your product and get to the checkout, then send them to your PDP. If the intent is just to learn more about your brand and then later on buy your products, then send them to either your subscription page or your homepage.
Got it. Okay.
And I think they had a question for you, Austin, before you dropped off.
Well, I kind of am onto a new thing that I'm kind of having
do it.
possibly possibly shiny object syndrome, but I'd like to hear what you guys think. So I've recently been focusing like heavily on my brand coming up in AI. So like when you AI best, or if you AI who is Sutton Huggins, like I want to know, like I want it to be like very accurate. And if you AI what is Ascend Performance Nutrition about, I want like that to be extremely accurate too. And I've worked very hard to like get this because I feel like that's the future of it, right? Like they're gonna see an ad, and then they're gonna go to AI and they're gonna be like, tell me about Ascend Performance Nutrition, and then they're going to read what AI has to think. And so, is that something that's top of mind for you guys? Are you guys considering that at all, or am I just crazy and wasting time?
Nah, I would say we're definitely considering it. I think of it more so like I think it's less likely that they see your ad and then ask AI about your company specifically. I think it's going to be more so. I mean, I literally do this all the time, where I'll go in there and I'll say, I'm looking to add creatine into my supplement stack. Can you please find me the top 5 brands with the highest quality? You know what I mean? I think it's going to be more that kind of searching where they're almost looking for the solution, and then you got to be able to put yourself in place of it. I'm going to be honest though, I haven't looked. I know Chad in the group, Chad's super big into looking at that stuff right now. I've looked at it mildly, but not enough to where I'd be like, oh, you should do this to get it better. You know what I mean? But I would say that's definitely something important to look into because as we move into the future, I mean, we're like 2.5, 3 years since GPT even came out. You know what I mean? Which is insane. And now within the next 5 years, I mean, I don't think people are going to be doing much like normal shopping. They're straight up just going to have their little AI assistant that they always talk to that knows everything about them and say, hey, I'm looking to put on some muscle. What are some good supplements for that? And then that's when we would need to be in there. But no, I don't really have too many specific tactics. I know a lot of people are doing like the AI type blog shit where using certain keywords that the AI will pick up on to try to show your products, but I don't have any like specific processes or anything. So if you find some, send them over.
Yeah, well, now since I'm like you kind of validated me, I'm gonna like look into it like super deep. So then, because like honestly, I want to be early before. Like I don't
Yeah.
want to be in the middle of it trying to figure it out. I want to be early. And so that's why I've been like, it hasn't consumed most of my time by any means, but it's consumed about 10% of my time just because I feel like the ROI on it would be huge if I'm popping up best creatine brands, like
Yeah,
or best
exactly.
supplement brand for athletes. Like that 10% of the time, the ROI on that's free traffic basically.
Yeah. Like
So that's why,
imagine being like one of the first websites when SEO got popular. Like
right?
imagine just breaking in everyone from SEO that was coming through Google. Yeah, I mean it's kind of the same. We're getting almost that same opportunity again with just like a little more nuance to it.
Yeah, exactly. But for Meta, back to the questions that I had for you before technology screwed you. Uh, what is so testing budget and then also audiences, like setting audiences, because I found, and this might just be me, and you might tell me this is a terrible idea, you're just getting lucky, is I don't really set my audience. I just let Meta do what it wants with it and reach the customers that I thinks is gonna buy rather than going through and like selecting the audience of like I'll set the age range 18 to 35, but other than that, I'm not picking behaviors, demographics, anything like that. And I've seen kind of good results compared to when I'm sitting there for 30 minutes trying to figure out
Yeah.
like how it works. So is that a smart idea, bad idea? And then the second question is testing budget.
Yeah, so I mean I would say a smart idea. That's what I do. I don't touch interest targeting. That's kind of the point of the Andromeda algorithm is before the back end, you needed to set up the targeting, and then that would then tell Meta to put these ads in front of these people. But now it doesn't really listen very well to your targeting, and what it does is it analyzes your creative, and I'm not saying like it reads the headline. I'm saying it reads your body copy, it reads your headline copy, it literally looks at the image. It looks at the visual graphics of the image to see what it is. It looks at the call outs and the headlines on the image, and then it finds an audience based on what it thinks will convert on that. So I would leave it broad. The only targeting I would do is if it's something super specific, like I'll usually do like an age group and a gender. So I'll do an age group and a gender, and then like if it's something very specific, like if we have an ad set towards moms, I might throw moms in there just because it's such a massive audience. It's got like 150 million people that it's not really narrowing it down too much. It's just giving it a little like moms will like this. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't be doing like stacking interests of moms that watch TV shows about this or you know what I mean? Like straight up I'd pretty much always do like gender age because I feel like you should at least have that targeting down whether you're going after male or female and then the kind of the broad age range. But then if it's something super specific, maybe add one not really interest but like lifestyle thing like mother or grandmother. You know what I mean? Just because that'll help it get traction a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh yeah, and then
would it?
what were you testing budget?
Yeah, testing budget. So, like I said, I've been running the icon ads. I started off with like 30 or 40 something, and after a week, I'm down to 6, I believe it was.
Oh damn, nice. You've been
But
killing it.
I've been, well, I just killed like 40 of them or whatever. Like I killed all but 6 today, this morning before the SPA
Oh,
call.
gotcha.
Uh, and so is that like, and I'm spending like $25 to $50 a day, depending on the angle that I'm taking. Um, is that too little, or is that too many ads and too little budget, or is that a good budget, or like what would your best practice be for that?
I mean, that seems like too many ads for that budget. I don't I don't have like a solid ratio on the top of my head that I would always use, but like I would say like 10 to 15 ads per $50 maybe might be like a good ratio. Cause yeah, like 30, 40 seems like a lot for $50 a day. That would actually be a good thing for me to do. I'm gonna get like an actual like how many ads per dollar spent kind of thing. Cause that is a good number to have. Cause like you're saying, like if you got $50 and you throw 80 ads in there, like obviously it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think the fact that you got it narrowed down. So how are you narrowing it down so fast? How did you kill that many so quick?
Uh, I basically went through and the tops. I was gonna go top 10 who had the most. Uh, so I went from like cost per click, and then I killed some, and then I went from cost per checkout, killed
Hmm.
some, and then I went cost per check or cost per initiate or add card or initiate checkout, and then cost per checkout, and then had the top 6 that had the best performing metrics in those.
Nice, nice. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, see, like how I was saying with your lower budget, 40 might be too many. If you're doing it like that, I think you're fine. And that's how I am, where as long as you kill quick and like get that budget going towards what's working, that's the main thing. But like if you just put 40 in there at a $50 day budget and just left it, nah. But if you're actually like in there actively killing them, then I'd say you're good to go. Because, dude, I put it in the group. I launched 100 ads. I should have launched 100 ads the other day, and the only
Yeah,
reason I'm able to do that is because I'm in there like killing them pretty quick. Like I don't just let it spend across 100 ads for weeks.
yeah. Well, and I mean, some of them did have $0 spent or like $1 spent. But to me, like, and this also might be wrong, but if it has 0 or $1 spent, no one cares about the ad. Like, that's just
Yeah,
like they showed it to a few people and no one cares about it. So why would I? I mean,
but
but
here,
again, yeah,
so
oh,
to play devil's advocate, I feel the same way where it's like okay, that it just doesn't care about this ad. But I will say, with the new algorithm updates, what I am seeing is I've had an ad have like zero spend, maybe like $3 spend for like 2 weeks before. And then it started taking over top spend. Like it became the top spender like weeks later. So I will say it might not mean the ad is bad specifically. It could be two other things of maybe the algorithm's focusing too much on this other ad that is getting more engagement but might not convert as well. Or maybe it just hasn't found a pocket, an audience pocket that will resonate well with that ad yet. And it takes time to find that. And that's what's happening when like it's running for a while and then it starts working is it took the algorithm a while to find like a small pocket of audience that would actually resonate with that single creative. So if they don't have spend, I wouldn't turn them off. I'd still give them their chance, but just be super aggressive. Like if they're at 0, leave them on. But if it gets up to like 10, $15 with no traction, just kill it. But probably, I would mostly leave them on just in case you do have that thing where a few weeks from now or whenever it might be, the algorithm finds an audience for it and then it'll throw some more budget behind it.
Do you have a ratio to how many you put out to how many you've seen scale or at least make money profitably? Do you have
Yeah,
like
so
that?
that's actually something that we just started tracking like last week, which is the hit rate. Like out of how many ads, what rate of them are actually decent. I mean, I would say right now on average across the brands, I'd say like 10% ish are decent. I'd say like 5%, maybe sub 5% are like, damn, this is a winner. You know what I mean? Like I'd say like right around that 5% level is like a nice winner. And then like 10 to 15% are like they do all right. They're keeping up with our normal CPA. But that all depends on your volume. Like if I launch 100, I might grab a few more. Or if I'm super, super intentional and spend a lot of time to launch 15, the rate might be higher. But it's happened too many times to me for me to really worry about it at this point where I'll spend so much time trying to make this damn thing perfect, dude, and then it launches and it does nothing. And then something that I spend 10 seconds on and I don't even know if it's going to do well, I just want to test it, it does the best. So like
Yeah.
it doesn't so it's really hard to know that. And that's why I like going with volume and then killing quick. So that way you can throw a huge net, test what can actually start getting some traction, but then just culling it quick so that way you can target the budget where it needs to go. But it really, I would start tracking that for yourself too. Like track your hit rate. Like out of these 40 you launched, what percent of them are doing well? What percent of them are like actual winners? And then I wouldn't worry about too much about like the stuff you got to kill because that's kind of just part of it now.
Yeah, 100%. I think the biggest problem I have is I go in and I'm like, this kind of looks sick. Like if I saw this, I'd click on it, and then and then I put those out in the ether, and those are the ones that suck the most.
Yeah,
And it's
bro,
like the
that's
one that I'm
me.
like, this sucks. Why
Yeah,
would
it's frustrating as hell.
No one's gonna click on this.
Yeah, I'll go to bed at night sometimes.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll stay up all night working on something. I'll go to bed and I'll be like, oh shit, I can't wait to wake up in the morning and see what kind of results we got. I wake up the next morning, it's literally like nothing, crickets, and I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. Now there's been so many nights like that for me where I dreaming about all the success this ad's gonna have and everything, and I wake up, get to the office, and I'm like, wow, this
Shit, maybe 24 more hours.
yeah, yeah.
That's funny.
I mean, that's how it was on Black Friday. For Black Friday, I cooked up. I didn't cook up anything. Icon cooked up beautiful ads, in my opinion. Like it was this nice bright pink and light blue, like Miami Vice hue, and everything was perfect. And I was like, I'm gonna test some of these for Black Friday. Bombed terribly. It was almost like I was like showing them off to my girlfriend and her family. I'm like, yeah, look at these. They're like, oh, that's good. And then they asked me on Tuesday when I saw them, they're like, how'd those ads go? And I'm like, I don't even really want to talk about it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's how it be. That's how it be.
That's hilarious.
And then the
Any
ones
other
that suck,
questions?
I'm like, I'll just give them a chance. Screw it, why not? And then I'm like,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's a
I'm
big.
basically, I'm like, I'm basically throwing money away, but at this point, who cares? And then I go and they make money, and I'm like, I need to put some respect on their name.
Exactly. Oh, so they like the ugly designs. Perfect. That's great.
Uh, can I throw in a question? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Cool. Just a question on the apps that for ad generation. I'm just wondering. I was looking at the icon, right, that you guys are using. I realized I thought it was a little hyped. I read they spent $12 million just buying a domain. I'm thinking, what am I paying for there? Blow through that much VC money? Is that really? It seems kind of hyped, right? Then I looked at Zeely. And then the idea is like, can I just do this all on Nano Banana or something? And do I even need one of these apps? Can you maybe, Austin, just talk about that? Like, what what's the real? Is there really value in it? Is there? Have you looked at Zeely maybe or some other ones just to kind of get a quick sense of? You probably researched a bunch of these things and have your
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, I've tried a bunch of the tools, and the question you had was absolutely perfect. You said, "Can I do this on Nano Banana?"
Hmm.
Icon and Zeely and every other AI creative app, they aren't AI. All they
Yeah,
are is a wrapper over Nano Banana.
right, right.
So the value you're paying for isn't something you can do it yourself, but for you to be able to, the thing you're paying for with Icon is the data, because it's it might be like it's in like the top three, like the fastest growing software companies like ever because of all the VC funding they got. And these massive companies with like thousands and thousands of ads running and millions of dollars a month in spend are using Icon. And when they're using Icon, Icon tracks their data. So Icon knows the exact ROAS, the exact cost per acquisition for every single ad they have running. So when you go into Icon to make ads in the health and wellness niche, the prompts that it's making you to make those ads are literally prompts that are based on millions of dollars in spend across other supplement brands on their actual winning ads. And then Icon will generate prompts to make ads like that for you, and then it makes them for you.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, which at the end of the day, all they're doing is prompting Nano Banana. But
Mm-hmm.
the way that they came to their prompt is what you're paying for. That's pretty much what you're paying for, is the fact that they have all of this data from all of these advertisers. They know what's working, and then they're able to generate prompts for you based on what's actually working right now, like live on Meta. But you can actually see the prompts that they use. So what you can do is you can get it for like a month. You can find the prompts that you really like, just
Mm-hmm.
copy, put them into a Google Doc or something, and
Yeah,
then you're basically good to go from there. You can copy and paste them into Nano Banana and make more of them anytime you want. But it'll just be that like one kind of vibe of ad. You know what I mean?
right. And it may change over time, right? And then so
Yeah,
later on.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Z. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
And no,
Uh,
I was just gonna say that that's a good way to do it, where it's like you just check Icon every like 3 months, grab all your
yeah.
favorite prompts, and then just kind of use it to make your own.
Yeah. Got it. And Zeely, you looked at that as just nowhere near that in terms of the data richness.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really used too
Okay.
many of the other ones. I've looked at a lot of them, but
Yeah.
I like Zeely. No, I haven't actually like been inside and used Zeely before.
Okay. Got it. Okay. All right.
Zelia is
And
a
then,
ripoff. Never use it. Don't use it at all. It's a ripoff. Biggest
sorry.
ripoff.
So you said it's a ripoff. Did I hear you right?
Yes, it's terrible. They should not be in business. It's a terrible
Wait,
business.
you tried it?
Unfortunately, yes, they got me.
Oh my God.
Okay.
No, I
Thanks for
haven't
that
even tried
info.
it yet.
Okay. Super. All right.
Wait, when did you try it though?
What's up?
When did you try it?
Earlier this year.
Because I
All
will
right.
say, when I first started using Icon, they could not make statics worth a crap. And you might have been, when you were using Zeely, it might have been before Nano Banana came out, so they didn't have like as good of an image generator. Like Icon used to suck before Nano Banana came out, and it was using like the GPT model instead.
All right. Okay.
It was in August or September when I used it, and
Uh,
Zeely
Oh, okay.
also had a they also like ran the ads for you, like figured out the targeting and everything. Not
Oh,
one conversion. Not one conversion. It's terrible.
Okay,
If you
well that
have
helps.
if you have success with it, Reinhard, and you say I'm not smart and you want to try it yourself, more power to you. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. If you come back and say, "Dude, you were wrong. This is the best product I ever had," I will happily put my foot in my mouth.
and then start using it. Then start
All
using
right,
the.
maybe I'll check it out with a free trial or something. But yeah, otherwise I go on Icon. And okay, and the other question I have is on just on this whole principle, right? You take you have your test set, you put all your ads in, they run there, you pick your winners, right? And then you just put it into your winning ads test set, right? I think that's how you do this. And then over time, your winning ad test set becomes enriched with all these great winners, right? That's the theory.
Yep.
Now, the thing that I'm seeing, and this is what I'm wondering, is like what I'm also reading is that because of the short attention span these days, ads have a lifetime, right? So in other words, like a static ad after a few weeks or even a week, it just will not have that performance anymore. So doesn't that also mean if you put in your winning ad set that that isn't really going to fly anymore? It's why would you even do that if the ads have a limited lifetime, right? I just don't fully understand that
Mhm.
principle.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
you could
that's
expand on that.
yeah, because I'm trying them both ways right now. The only reason I even tried, the only reason I'm even testing it really is just because with everything in the CBO, I have found that some days it'll put all the money towards the big spenders, the winners, which is perfect, but some days it won't. And if it does that a few days in a row, it'll kind of wreck your results. So the main reason for it is just to make sure the stuff that we have winning currently is getting a set amount of spend. But yeah,
Hmm.
like you said, everything has a life cycle. So you still have to keep watching it and then turn this stuff off whenever you can. But the main point of it, I'd say the only reason of it, instead of just keeping them in their current ad sets, is just to be able to set that X 40, 50, 60% of campaign spend in this ad set going towards stuff that you know is winning.
Okay, so that
Versus
you do that by adjusting a minimum or something? Is that how you?
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's pretty
Like,
much the whole reason for it is just making sure
okay,
that X amount of budget's going towards winners.
I got you now. So you take it, you keep your test set running, you take the winner, and you basically say, I want a minimum spend on that winner, and that then how you go about it.
Yep, exactly.
Got it.
And
Okay,
then
cool.
your new launches, you can keep launching in, and then as stuff's winning, just throw it into that winner ad set. And then you know the winner ad set's going to get 50,
Yeah,
60, whatever percent you spend or you set.
perfect. Thanks. That helps. Thank you.
Yes, sir. But I will say I have just been testing this recently, so I don't have like super concrete results of yes, this is definitely better than keeping them separate. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
definitely something that we're testing right now, and I would say we don't. I don't. At least I don't have enough data to where I'm like, you for sure need a winner ad set.
yeah,
It's more so something that we're testing. It's working kind of well, but at least on our end, I definitely want to give it a little more time before I like start saying to you guys like for sure do
yeah.
it.
Right.
Do you do mostly image ads, or do you do video ads too, or what's your split there? I mean,
Yeah.
is it
So right
worth
now we're
investing? Yeah, because that's a
right now
lot
we're
more investment, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So right now
Yeah.
we're doing mainly statics, and then we have a few UGC videos from a while ago, but last week I started testing some of those Sora videos too,
Uh-huh.
which I mean,
Okay.
those are a damn nightmare to make. And like they're easy to make, but they're a nightmare as in I have to use all my tokens and spend 2 hours making 50 of them for me to get five
Yeah.
usable ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're
Okay.
testing those and like they have a few sales. The CPA is pretty good, but kind of same thing as that like winning ad set. They haven't been working long enough for me to like tell you guys like, oh, everyone needs to go on Sora and try
Yeah.
it out. You know what I mean? Because they're not beating the statics by that much, really.
Right. One thing I noticed is when I had my first, I haven't run that much, but what I did, I created like three or four static images and I put it into a slide, not a slide set, not a carousel, but you know,
Or
a
something.
slide set where Meta makes a video out of it and plays them like 3 second intervals. And then
Hmm.
all these were converting, not converting, but like at least the click-through rate was really way better than the single static. So I don't know if that's something that you do more often, where you create 3, 4, and then put it in a slide, or is that you don't even do that? Maybe it was a fluke. I'm just wondering if that's
No, I mean,
really always a lot better.
yeah, I mean, they're definitely not always a lot better, but if
Yeah,
you sometimes they are better. If you can get it to where it's actually like cohesive as they're scrolling through, kind of telling a
yeah.
story or like getting them to a conversion point or teaching them something, they can work really, really well. I would just say don't think that like carousel's like the magical bullet where you can just like throw 5 random things together and make money. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
carousels
yeah.
like if they're super intentional and they actually do flow well, they can get some really good results.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Austin, when you create your batch of creative and you put that into a new ad set, do you put the same ad copy for all creatives, or do you mix up the copy?
Oh, okay. So I've tried them both. I haven't noticed too much of a difference by putting more effort into making like individual unaware, problem aware, solution aware copy. So
Right.
I'll put new copy in there as if like if it's for moms, I'll make sure all the copies for moms. Or if it's for nurses, I'll make sure all the copies for nurses. But I won't do individual copy per ad within that ad set. I'll just do like
So it's the same ad copy for all images in that one ad set. You're not
yeah,
really.
but I'll do 3 variations. So I'll
Okay.
usually do like 3 body copies, 3 headlines.
Are you
And then
choosing
that
what Meta is selecting for you with their AI?
no, I don't use theirs. Heck
Okay.
no. Heck no. No, I'll just use I usually use Claude to make my copy, but I'll do 3 variations and the 3 variations I have in there, I'll try to keep them similar to the awareness level. So I'll have one for problem aware, one for unaware, one for solution aware. So
Okay.
that way it has those 3 copies, 3 headlines, and then it can match it to whichever creative it thinks it'll resonate best with.
Resonate with.
Reinhard, I also want to mention, I'm not affiliated with Icon at all, but the cheat code that they have to offer is the Ad Spy. It's like you can go on Ad Library and kind of find the same thing, but Icon has like to me a more sophisticated thing, like a more sophisticated setup. I mean, Austin, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they have like the top performing hooks, they have all the landing pages, and then they have like their best converting ads. So the Ad Spy is almost worth the $50 a month itself, and then you throw the ads on top of it. I mean, I really like it.
Yeah, because you can put you can put a list of your top competitors in there, the ones that have really good ads. And then, like I was
Yeah.
saying, you can when you're making ads, you can either choose make ads based on my niche, which is when it scans your entire niche and the other sellers and see what's working for them and makes them, or you can do make ads based on my competitors, and it'll straight up whatever list of competitors you have in there, it'll make stuff close to their top performers, which is really cool. And then that's where you can start getting crazy with it, where you can like make a batch copying one competitor, make a batch copying another competitor. So now you're trying the different styles as well.
Super. Okay. Thanks, Sutton. Thanks, Austin.
Austin, this might be a rookie question, but I also found that the ads that I'm putting out, like if I'm not scaling them, they kind of die out. So like what's the proper way to like ad spend to keep them competitive and keep Meta to like enjoy pushing them out?
Yeah. So really, the main thing is just increasing that budget on the CBO. The only problem is, and this is why we're doing the winter ad sets, is trying to scale into the CBO and then it kind of just throwing your damn budget around at random stuff. You know what I mean? Versus keeping
Yeah.
that scale with the winners. And then that's one of the main reasons we're trying the winter ad set. So that way we can actually scale knowing that the extra money is going towards what's winning because we have that minimum spend set.
And so and I also kind of want to talk about like my campaign setup. And so I have my campaign, I have icon test ads. And that's like the overall campaign. and then within that the ad set, I have like different products, which some products are turned off until I plan to put ads in there. But then within the ad sets, I have unaware, problem aware, solution aware, and most aware. I haven't really been dealing with product aware too much.
Hmm.
And then within the ads, obviously, then you go to the ads portion, then it obviously
Yeah.
has all of them. And so is that a rookie setup or is that the proper way to go about it?
So I would have the products separated by campaign. Like I would have a campaign for each of the products unless you're doing like one of those catalog campaigns or something where it just cycles through all your products. Just because like if you have a campaign for your creatine has very specific margins and you need a specific cost per acquisition on that product to be profitable. But then let's say you throw beta alanine in there and your cost per acquisition that you need is completely different because your margins are completely different. The beta alanine starts getting a $15 cost per purchase when the creatine's getting 30, so it thinks that one's winning. Now it thinks the creatine's a loser, but in all actuality the beta alanine's half price, so you're not making any money. You know what I mean?
Okay, wait, I actually lied. So I have so I do have it segmented by uh product. So I have like the
Oh,
Recharge Your
nice.
Brain initiative, and then with it, the ad set is contest, and then within there, then I have the other ad sets of unaware, problem aware, solution aware, most aware. So I technically have 5 ad sets within the campaign for that product.
Are all the awareness levels towards the same angle?
No. So what I do is an icon, I generate 20 per awareness level, and then
Uh-huh.
I tag them meta in the meta thing. So like normally when you put it in there, it'll say like AI CMO ad, right?
Yeah.
But then I go in there and I edit the name to unaware 1, unaware 2, unaware
Yeah,
3,
yeah,
problem
nice.
aware 1, and then so then I can look automatically, and then the winners I put into the proper ad set.
Yeah. Um, I mean, if it's working, I would leave it, but I almost want to say to combine them. Just because when the Andromeda first came out, that's how I was setting them up was by awareness level. But what I figured started working better is doing it by the persona slash angle and then putting the multiple persona levels for that angle within the ad set. So that way, because it's kind of like a whole different thought process with it. The first way is thinking, oh, it's going to grab all the unaware people here. It's going to grab all the problem aware people here. But after I was like digging more into it, I realized the ad set handles like more so like the persona targeting almost, or the angle, whatever you're going for. And then having all the awareness levels in it allows it to, these are moms looking for energy. Do I want to show them unaware? Do I want to show them problem aware? Do I want to show them solution aware? And it allows the algorithm to figure out which awareness level this persona with this problem is at. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
what we found working better is doing it by that persona level and then having the multiple awareness levels inside of it. But like
So,
if what you have is working, I wouldn't really change it up too much.
well, honestly, it I'm like hyper fixated on optimizing my budget. Like that's been my my entire pretty much year, because this year we like as a company we achieved more success than I was planning on. And so now I automatically like my brain automatically goes to, and this is like a personal problem, is like I've achieved this level of success to where like we did like 3 or 4 million dollars this year, which is like way more than I anticipated. And so now I'm like in a scarcity mindset to where I'm like, I don't want to be that one hit wonder and have one good year and then and blow all the cash, and then next year nothing to show for it, or like be out of business in 3 years. Like that's where my mind's at. And so like I've been hyper
Mhm.
fixated on like, all right, how can we take this and like be smart with it so we're not a one hit wonder. And so that's why I'm asking this question, is because I'm trying to manage the budget and be super scarce,
Mhm.
which like everyone in my circle says, dude, let up, live a little. Like you're being too uh you're being too much of a penny pincher. But for me, I'm like, I'd rather be a penny pincher, and like I'd rather be the tortoise, not the hare.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
where
well,
I
that's the
I just
thing, bro.
wanna
Is like you're still figuring out a core offer that converts. So for sure, take it slow and just get the data you need over time. And then when you finally find something that like starts converting well, that's when you pour gas on the damn thing. You know what I mean? Like, definitely don't pour gas while you're trying to figure out if it even works. Like, you're trying to figure out which like funnel slash angle slash ads work. That's definitely something where it's like you can blow through your entire budget and be like, shit, what do I do now? Versus if you use it low budget, it gives you way more runway to like test stuff and slowly get data, slowly figure out what's working. That's for sure the best way to do it is how you're doing it.
right. Um, because like we have one offer that works, but it's a seasonal offer.
Hmm.
It's our Freedom Fuel limited time product. And so like Memorial Day, 4th of July, Veterans Day, we also came out with a special edition D-Day because I'm like really leaning into the first responders veteran thing. Uh which is like a something that's really near and dear to my heart. So, but those are like limited time situations. I can't run that 24/7
Yeah.
because then it doesn't mean anything. And so I'm trying to find my way outside of uh outside of that limited time offer to where we can take, and that's why I feel like we can double the business by just finding one other offer that
Yep.
works, like one
A
product,
year
one
round.
offer. Yeah, and that we can run consistently throughout the year, and we can and achieve the same results, or even two offers. But I'm a firm believer in one offer, one product, one funnel can get you to 10 million.
Yep, for sure. For sure. Now all we gotta do is find that damn thing.
Right. And so I'm like, maybe this the creatine one would work, especially because I can like founder story tell from personal experience.
Yeah.
But uh, I mean, the results are like up and down. Like some days I'm like the dumbest idea I've ever had, and then some days I'm like, this is the winner. So I'm just like, and we also have like 23 products in our catalog, so we have a lot of like room to play, and like a lot of so some of them are custom formulated, some of them are like we bring in through Supplefull. Like all of our vitamins are pretty much through Supplefull,
Hmm.
and things like that. And then our proteins through Supplefull because they have a good pure protein where it's 3 ingredients. So we our proteins through there. But our electrolytes, our energy powders, our creatine, and like some other products are through our own like custom formulated.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out like how we're trying to figure this out, and that's why I'm asking these questions, is because I'm trying to find that offer.
Yeah. I mean you're working on it right now, bro. Like you already got your quiz completion rate up. Like you're definitely making the right moves. Just don't be me and don't get shiny object syndrome.
Well,
Like,
yeah, that's the hardest
yeah, that
part.
is it
Can
literally
sit
is the
here
hardest part. Yeah.
I can sit here and like and Icon's kicked out some pretty good like stack ads for the recharge initiative. Like they kicked out the base, and then I just basically cut the creatine out, and it was like I erased it, and like
Yeah.
it looks pretty solid. And then there's some of them with the creatine in there. Um, but and a lot of them is like I can send you some of the winners that's like really cooking
Yeah,
right
send me
now.
some of those. Send me some of those things. Oh shit.
Um,
I gotta
Um,
go. I gotta go in like
but
uh,
5 minutes.
Austin, quick question, because you just kind of talked about this earlier. it seems like this whole problem aware to most aware or unaware to most aware, right? It's like the whole it's like a dogma thing right now almost for meta
Yeah.
advertising. But then I like what you said in terms of you're actually not using that so much. You go with your personas, right?
Yep.
And so you use that, and because I was thinking about this, if you use your personas and then the awareness level, you just end up with a matrix that becomes unmanageable, right?
Yep.
So it becomes ridiculous. So what I did, and I thought it was interesting, and maybe helpful to anybody else in group. So I just started working with the personas and started mapping it, looking at the awareness levels, and then realized that for some personas I only needed like one awareness level, and for another persona I needed another awareness level. So in other words, it simplified it totally. So I have one awareness level on one persona and then different on another persona. It almost matched up 1-to-1. So that
Yeah.
became real easy, and that was like a big aha moment. Wait a minute, that persona just is the same person, just with another awareness level, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, that becomes helpful and just in simplifying.
Yeah. And it's almost like the unaware and problem aware, it's a lot easier to hit different personas. Like, oh, are you a grandmother that's having trouble with this? But it's like once you get to solution aware, you almost don't have to really break it out by persona because it's like, oh,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
looking
yeah.
for L-tyrosine to help you with this. Here it is. You
That's
know
your
what I mean?
persona, right?
Yeah.
That is the
Yeah.
persona. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool. Well, thanks for mentioning that.
Yes, sir. Any last minute questions, Randy?
No, I appreciate your time though.
Yes, sir.
Great,
Thanks
great
for
session.
hopping in here, guys. Usually the ad calls are dead. Glad all
Uh,
three of you hopped in here. We appreciate it.
This was
Yeah,
cool.
I
Very
love
cool.
it.
love marketing. So
Yes, sir.
I love
Yeah, you get to
marketing
hear
and I
me.
love small calls. I love small calls.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is great. I
It was
appreciate
nice. Very nice.
You guys get to hear me say
it. All right,
Andromeda
guys.
45 times.
Yeah, I love it. It's
Y'all
my
have
All
a
right.
favorite
great
We'll
word.
talk
weekend.
soon.
Get outside some.
Oh, one of
You're
these
right.
days.
Get outside. Get off the computer or the phone. Get on the trail somewhere.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. We'll send pics.
That's it. See you guys.
All right. Later, y'all.
Cheers.
Thanks,
Cheers,
guys.
guys.
Yeah.
Bye.